Amy Grant.
I went to my closet and I found my Amy Grant shirt from back in the day.
I think that's 1994.
You do? Well, I bought. This is a high dollar shirt because in the retro world.
Well, let's stop.
Bobby, stop.
What happened?
There's reverb on.
On her mic?
Sounds like
she's
Amy's
singing. Oh,
Trucker, Breaker 19. Yeah. Hello,
I
hello.
didn't even hear it. All right, go ahead.
The Friday Morning Conversation with
Amy Grant.
So because you were coming in, I went to my closet and I got my Amy Grant shirt out.
You really had that in your closet?
Oh, I've had this for years.
Okay.
What year is this shirt from?
1994.
Really?
How do you remember that?
What's this say on the
Well,
back? Is there a
I'll tell
tour
you.
on the back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I buy so few clothes. Like I can look at a photograph and go, oh yeah, it's that shirt. That's 87. Oh yeah. And my kids are the same way. We're just like zero in the shopping department. Yep, 1994.
If you were to have 10 of these shirts, you could make some good money because when I bought this,
Yeah.
because retro's so expensive now, this was a high dollar tour t-shirt.
What?
It was like $86, I think is what I paid for this shirt. What do you think it cost at a concert back in the day?
Back then, I don't know. Maybe $18.
I'll sell it back to you for 70. We were talking about you the other day on the show because you're going back out on tour and you're celebrating. Was it 30 years?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 30,
I mean, does that seem like yesterday, or does it seem like forever ago that this record came out and changed your life?
It feels like both. It feels like honestly lifetimes ago. Like somebody will say, "Tell me a memory from that tour." And I'll go, well, you tell me something what happened to you when you were 25, But it was, the thing I remember most from that tour is I had two young kids, 1.5 and a 3.5-year-old. And so I have 3 nephews that were born when I was in high school. And so they were like 13, 14. And I said, we're traveling across the country. Come with me. Of course, their mom, I took 2 of them across the whole country, and she was like thrilled. They're gone. They had 0 supervision. That's what I remember most. They got per diem. We would get to a town, and my feeling was, you're not in diapers. You got this covered. And when I just look back and go, oh my gosh, okay, I think an alcohol problem began then. I think it's their favorite summer. And when we look back, and that's what I mostly remember, was hanging out with my nephews, listening to music all night and on the bus. And
I mean, think about that. You're a 13-year-old kid, and you get to go with Amy Grant across your Aunt Amy. I don't know what they called you.
Yeah.
You get per diem. They get money every day, $25, $30, whatever they're going to get to go eat. They're on buses. They have access to probably go backstage. Probably teenage girls at your shows they can go meet.
I mean, I just remember getting to San Francisco, and we got there about 3 o'clock in the morning. We had the next day off, and then the following day we had to be on the bus like 1 o'clock to get to sound check. And what I said was, you better be here when it's time for the bus to leave. That was it.
Did their mom know that you were allowing them to just run free?
I don't, I think I have a screw loose. One day I was going through I was on my way to my hotel room, and they're great guys, great sense of humor, but there were 2 police officers in the hallway, and they said, we think somebody's broken into this room. And I went, oh my gosh, that's where Logan and Burton are. And anyway, I looked in and went, oh my gosh, it was ransacked, like everything torn up, beds torn apart, mattresses in the wrong parts of the room. And while we were there, they walked up, and I went, guys, I hate to tell you this. And they looked in and went, oh, that's how we left it.
They did it.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Amy Grant is here with us right now, which, by the way, she is celebrating 30 years of Heart in Motion, which had Baby Baby. Are you going to be playing Baby Baby out on the road?
I am. A little bit lower.
And why would you do it a little lower?
Because my voice is lower.
When you sing, because I have artists that I know too have turned their keys lower as well when they sing.
Yeah.
When did you have to start changing your songs? Pretty recently?
Yeah. Honestly, it was for the tour. I held on as long as I could, and finally Kim Keys, who I've sung with for many years, she said, good gosh, just lower the key. All that, just trying to be something that you're not, and lower is great.
What was it like to have a big pop song in the 90s?
It was exciting because that kind of thing was not really happening in Nashville. And so everybody that participated, it felt like such a group win. All the producers on that record, Keith Thomas, Michael Omartian, Brown Bannister, Omar, he'd had number ones in decades, multiple decades. But for us, I don't know, it just felt like the Olympics. It felt like being on a winning team at the Olympics. And so it was awesome.
Did you have expectations? And let's play a little bit of this song. Did you have expectations that this song was going to be a massive pop success? Were they telling you, like, this is what we're going to do, Amy? This song's going to be... Because, again, you're in Nashville. You're not in L.A. You're not in New York. It's hard for something to come out in the pop world. At least now it is from here. Like, did you have massive thoughts of just, I'm going to be just a humongous pop star with this song?
God, no. No, I just loved it. It was a fun time in life, and I wanted, my background is more singing songs about faith, which tends to make for a serious conversation. And I was just so glad to have songs that were fun. And, once again, I had lived next door to 4 of my nieces and nephews. And I remember them coming over, and I would play like 5 songs from this record. And I'd say, which one do you hate? Like, always trying to figure out, how do we make this just something that somebody wants to play? And, it was just so much fun. And I was signed to 2 record companies at the time, Word Records and A&M Records simultaneously. Because music, you had to hunt for music back then. Nothing was, online. And neither record company really was high up on the song.
Of that song specifically?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So if neither company's going, this is the one, how does it end up being the one? How does it end up being such a smash?
Somebody sent it. Maybe Mark Mazzetti sent it to a DJ in San Diego. Kevin. Oh, sorry, Kevin. Can't remember your last name. Yeah. And it just took off in Southern California.
So it went one station, another then said, oh, well, that's pretty good. Let me play it. And then it slowly, organically built.
Yeah, that was back when music was like a grass fire.
Yeah. When did you feel in your life like, oh, my life is changing now because of this song? Was there a moment where you're going, or a crowd you looked into and you're like, wow, you guys are a lot bigger than you have been in the past?
Crowds were big before that, but I remember going into the Donut Den in Green Hills, and a group of girls, maybe high school girls, were coming out. And I walked in. We just passed in the doorway, and they all screamed in my face.
Like right in there, like, ah!
Yeah. And then they left, and I went in, and I thought, well, that's weird. I've been coming to Donut Den since I was 5.
Was there ever a point where you had to go, okay, it's not safe for me to go out places because right now it's a little too crazy?
No, I never felt that way because, I was the baby in my family, and 5 generations of my family here to be, I knew your mother when we were just children. I mean, yeah, I've just always been somewhere in the pack.
You have nonstop tour dates because Amy had told me that you were doing like 40 shows or something this year. And I was like, wow, for anybody to commit to 40 shows is crazy. Pandemic or not, that's just a lot of shows. Are you kind of touring more pop style than country style where it's not just Friday, Saturday, and come home? Are there like Tuesday, Wednesday shows? Do you know?
Yeah.
That is a lot of dates.
Mm-hmm. I think we're leaving in October and not coming back.
You're doing alternative rock tour. That's what that is. You just live on the bus.
Well, you know what's fun about that is you have days off away from town. Because to really discover the country, I mean, it's so fantastic because you're working your way across. And so it's, like the bike trails in the Pacific Northwest are unbelievable.
So you actually go on the road and find things to do on off days and don't just sleep?
Oh, yeah. And I mean, I like to get out and meet people. I remember finding a drum circle at a park in California. And yeah, and just like, yeah, just live and be a part of what other people are doing. And finding a farmer's market and coming back and cooking in the room and, just live.
That's what I need a little more of, just live.
You do.
Instead I'm like, just work, just work, climb to the next goal. Let me play a little bit of Every Heartbeat here, because I think this is my favorite of all the old school pop stuff. Like this one to me, Every Heartbeat, I sing it really good too.
Yeah, you do.
Like, what do you think about when you hear this song?
Every
heartbeat belongs to you. Yeah.
I think about these, hand motions. I never took dance class. I'm not a dancer, but I can't help but move when music is happening. I'm not trying to look cool. It just happens. But I remember the goofy hand motions that we all did during that tour for that song.
It kind of looks like the Macarena, what you're doing now.
It does, yeah.
It's a bit...
But I mean, and we weren't trying to get anybody to dance, but it was so, like everybody did it. My young children did it. The crew guys did it. The hardened truck drivers would come in and they're like,
They're doing the dance.
Yeah, that's what that song makes me think of.
What about, that's what love is for? That's a jam too, Amy.
Oh, man.
That might be my new favorite. As I'm playing them all now, I'm changing as we're going.
Man. Yeah, I still sing that song every show. And I mean, the world needs that. That world needs that song.
Is there a song that you're like, oh man, I've just sang this so many times, I gotta sing it again? Or are you just happy to be out and sing them all at this point?
I'm glad to sing them all. There's some songs that I probably won't do live, that were just kind of goofy songs on the record. But yeah, just to get to do something you love is, man, what a gift.
Let me say this, beginning July 30th, for the first time since its original release, the album will be remastered on vinyl. That's it's exciting.
It is.
Here is always the thing, because now, I've been doing this for the radio thing for 24, a long time, right?
20-something years?
Well, since I was 17.
Yeah.
And then I've been doing mornings since I was 22, so almost 20 years. And in a way, I'm like, hey, that's really cool. But in a way, I'm like, dang, it's a long time. Like, so with this record, as it hits 30 years, are you like, dang, look at that. The success of this thing is amazing. But are you also like, dang, it's 30 years later? Because that's how I feel with this thing, too.
Yeah. Well, I was 17 when I started singing. And so, like, when I look back on that, it might have looked like something happened overnight, but I had put in a lot of years before that. And mostly what I feel is, dang, life goes by fast. And if I didn't look in a mirror, or if I didn't try to run really fast and wind up wetting my pants, it's just like you'd think, oh no, I mean, time stands still for all of us with different things. And for me, music makes time stand still.
I was reading a book, and I read it a long time ago, called I'm Okay, You're Okay, where they talk about music, that if, let's say you listen to a song a whole lot when you were 10, and you play that song right now, for a brief second in your brain, it feels like you're 10 years old, because your brain triggers on that sound, and it reminds you of exactly, just for an instant,
yeah.
But it gives you that feeling like you're talking about now. Like when I play, every heartbeat, I think of where I was when I was listening to the radio back then.
Yeah.
When I had this shirt the first time, the first version of this shirt.
Yeah.
Amy, you are a massive Amy Grant fan.
Yeah.
I know you've been sitting back there just patiently waiting. What would you like to ask Amy?
I mean, I just my fifth grade talent show, I performed Galileo. So, and I had, when you were talking about the dance moves, two of my girlfriends, Kristen and Hailey, we had matching outfits, and we got up on stage in front of our entire elementary school and performed in the year of 1492 when Columbus sailed the ocean blue. So for me, that, I mean, are you going to be performing that at your show?
I'll be honest with you, I don't know that song, Amy. Only from Amy here singing it.
No, I'm Galileo, even on the darkest night. Oh, I will find the shine.
Do you realize this whole interview is us singing to Amy Grant?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
us singing her songs to her.
That's so great. I can just picture your little fifth grade face.
Oh, we puff painted our own matching shirts, and we had hats. And there was a part, because we had microphones with cords.
Oh,
and there was a part where we incorporated or choreographed a turn, which we didn't really think that through with the chords. And I tripped
It's a calf
up.
roping.
Yes. And so
That's
I just
funny.
have so many special memories with you. So I'm definitely going to be finding a city near me. I don't know which one
Well,
I'm
she's
going to
coming
try
to
to
Franklin
go to.
3 times.
Oh, well then, yes, that is
Yeah.
a city near me.
Yeah, it's near you.
So I will be there. But I just think it's interesting to even just hear you say too, as a reminder of for you, it just goes by so fast, and to live. And I love that you're actually doing that, and you just sitting here with you in this moment has inspired me to want to live a little bit more.
And be a
like,
singer.
no.
Chase your dream.
I can't do that, but thank you
sound
for that.
great. You sound great.
Oh,
singing.
thank you.
You're good.
You're
Good,
kind.
good pitch center.
Do you feel like, as you talk about live your life, do you feel like your heart surgery has changed your perspective about living? Did that happen with you, where you're like, okay, now I really got to refocus?
I was just grateful to wake up, but it's funny, like coming in here, I was joking with Jennifer Cook, my manager, and I said, you think he wants to talk about like picking up beer mash from East Nashville Beer Works and feeding our beefalo? No, that's probably not what it's going to be. You think he wants to talk about the day camp we do at our farm? No, I'm an archery instructor. Probably not that. You think he wants to talk about this acoustic brain mirroring therapy that I do? No. I think it's music. And what I love is that there's a lot of life in my head and in my heart, and music's part of that. And touring focuses me on that. And then I go, oh God, what a gift. That really has been the platform from which I have launched a lot of other things that I wouldn't have been able to participate in had it not been for music. But I just think we all have so many gifts and talents, and you've got to reach. You have to reach for different things, because you might be essential in another circle and you don't even know it. And it's a good thing.
By the numbers, you have sold more than 30 million albums worldwide. You have 6 Grammys. Like she doesn't know this, by the way. I'm reading you all this stuff. You have 22 Dove Awards. You had the first Christian album to go platinum. Whenever, you kind of look at folks, who is most, to me, because I've been able to see you be amazing on the Christian chart as well, but like a Lauren Daigle, because I know Lauren a little bit too. Like you guys, to me,
fantastic.
Are like the same person.
It's so funny. I met her and said, "You want to go walk on our farm?" And we went and strung hammocks high up in a tree and sat there. And I said, "What really matters to you?" And I loved it that she said, "I'll always sing, but what I really care about is," and it was, that's her story to tell. And it's just like, sing, because that's the platform from which you'll be able to do other things. But man, woo!
But that's you too, like you are her, she is you.
I love that.
Yeah, well, and I know you just said that, and I just want to affirm you, because 2 things came to my mind when you were talking about how it's enabled you to do other things. So my daughter actually went to your camp last week.
No way!
Yeah, so she was there for a full week, and it was the best camp experience she's ever had. So, and she came away with so many new friendships. It was very special. And then also, Bobby, the brain thing I got you for your birthday. That's what she's talking about.
Oh, that exact thing?
Yes. And he just hasn't done, I think.
Sarah said
yes,
that one?
he hasn't done it yet.
Well, so here's the thing, and I haven't talked about it a lot because it's but I've had some brain issues, some medical issues.
Yeah.
And Amy was like, I got you something.
This makes me so happy.
And so, but it was COVID still, and I was like, well, I'm going to wait till we're out of this thing, and I'll go, but I haven't gone yet. So what's this thing going to do to me? Am I going to come in smarter?
Well,
Lovelier? Be honest.
You couldn't be smarter. You are like, God, you fire on all pistons all the time. I discovered this technology in 2009, and it was a game changer. And it does subtle things, but for some people it does really amazing things. But, real peace and joy is found in the moment. But our brains create all these tracks from things that have happened to us in the past, and they default to those tracks even when those circumstances have changed. And so this, Sarah said, acoustic brain mirroring, you just lie back in a comfortable chair, eyes closed, you got a weighted blanket on your lap, and you let your brain hear itself. And then and in real time, the energy that your brain is exhibiting, your brain shouldn't have its foot on the gas or the brake when you're relaxed. And when it's listening to itself, it'll go, oh, like I've got my foot on the gas. And in that space where it has no responsibility, it's not having to keep you alive or normalize anything, it will relax those deep brain tracks. Like I did sessions on a guy that was traumatized as a 10-year-old, and every night had a nightmare, every night. And I just wanted him to be able to sleep. And he's in his 60s. And, so it was 4 sessions, 3 weeks later, another session. And every day I was like, are you sleeping? Are you sleeping? And he came back for the 5th session 3 weeks later, and he said, I finally started sleeping. Because, it's his brain that has to do the fixing. I'm just giving his brain the opportunity. And I said, what about the nightmares? And he went, oh, those ended after the first session. And so, but we all live with stress and trauma. And, someday, Lord willing, this will be FDA approved and the whole world can do it. But we do it with veterans. I've done it with women from the shelter.
What do you mean you've done it? You actually are there with them?
I am a tech.
You are?
I did 2 sessions yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Are you going to be doing mine? Do you read my brain? No.
I sure can. Yeah, it's so funny. It's I was talking to a musician yesterday who was in my chair, and and another thing is it's caring touch. That's another thing. Like just setting somebody up is, I don't know. It's so much fun to have a job where I can care for people.
You mentioned, sometimes we revert back to where our brains were, even though we're not in that situation now.
Yes.
That's kind of what happens with my fiance now. Because listen, I grew up, didn't have a dad, didn't have a good mom situation, lived in poverty a lot of my life. And I still I still go back to that sometimes. And my fiance is like, hey, look, she got me by the shoulders. You're not that kid anymore. Like your brain is taking you to a bad place and you're acting like you were when you were 9 or 10, but you don't have to do that anymore. And so when you said that kind of struck me as like, that's what we deal with all the time in my house.
Yeah.
Where I'm constantly living like I'm that same person growing up, in the trailer park. Like we don't know if we even have food tonight.
Yeah.
And she has to do that to me.
Yeah. You're going to love this because the noise in your head will disappear. And that's what it is.
The noise in my head has never disappeared. It's always 1 foot on the gas or 2 feet on the gas. That's it. There's no break. It's 1 foot or 2 all the time. Well, listen, I'm so glad that you came in because we are massive fans of you just in general. And whenever Amy mentioned that you were doing the tour, I was like, this gives us a reason to invite her back on because now we can, build it like we're promoting the tour, but we can actually hang out and talk with her. So thank you for coming in. Tell Vince we said hello. I talked to Vince a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Just the loveliest people. You're just the loveliest. And I don't know how you stay lovely all the time. What's the secret to being lovely all the time?
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for saying that. And I just dead air. I think loved people love people.
Loved people love people. And I think with that, we will end because that is fantastic. I will tell you this. You can go to amygrant.com. She starts August 5th, rolling all the way to the end of October. 30 years of the Heart in Motion tour, which had all the songs we talked about. We are massive fans. Thank you for giving us the time.
Thank you.
And also, we ended up talking about all the stuff you wondered if we were going to talk about. We talked about music. We talked about it all.
I know.
So I hope that when they called and said, hey, Bobby wants to talk to you, that you weren't like, I have to go do an interview.
Oh my gosh, no. I have so much respect for you.
Well, that's very kind of you.
When you were out of town, I filled in for you doing the Opry live, and oh my God, all I could think of is he is so smart. He can juggle so many things in that brain at one time, and I was trying to introduce
You did a
people.
great job. They even told me,
good.
they were like, Amy killed it. And then I started feeling self-conscious, like, well, why do you even want me? She's a star and she's better at this. So there she is, Amy Grant. Go to amygrant.com to get tickets. Let's clap our hands for her again. Amy Grant, everybody.
Thank you.